Okay, everyone, good evening. We're ready to start. Bezos Hashem. Okay. Thank you for joining. I know everybody's busy, especially now that the year begins and everybody's getting into their daily routine, and in some ways it can get a little harder, but I heard once from Rabbi Mendel Wächter. He said that sometimes people, Chassidim, Shluchim, Chassidim Bechlal, complain they're so busy with Shlichus and things like that, and they don't have time to learn Chassidus. So he gave a mashal. He said it's like a firemen that are running to a fire to extinguish a fire, and they're speeding, and then their gas is going out, and they need to refuel. But they don't have time to refuel because they got to get to the fire. Obviously, it's ridiculous because, right? I don't have to say the because. A chassid without chassidus is without fuel, and shluchim without plugging into the words of the Mishaleach and what he taught us, and the inspiration, especially doing it all together like this. This is our fuel. So no matter how busy we are, this is something that we should take very seriously and learn, in addition to this, that the powerful segula that it has in bringing Mashiach. Okay, we're ready to start. It's exciting to learn this sikha. It's very uplifting, and it really sets and recalibrates. We're living in a galus, and the galus does a job on us. No one is galus immune. You see how much when you watch the Rebbe, how he's in a constant war against the galus. The galus, it's not just a physical condition. It's more of a spiritual. It's way more a spiritual constriction, and it creeps up on us, and it sometimes tries to swallow us, and or cripple us, and it's very easy for gullus mentalities to creep in and cool us, and whichever way, to make us cold, to make us removed from Mashiach and from the whole shlichus and so on and so forth. So this is so crucial. This sikha is really where the Rebbe is really directing the entire shluchim project and setting it on its course for the last and final mission. I mean, it's unbelievable that there is a sikha like this. It came after Chavches Nisan, where the Rebbe, so to speak, banged on the table and said and showed very, very clearly that he's frustrated that we haven't accomplished what we needed to accomplish. And after that, Chavches Nisan, the Rebbe started giving us a whole new direction, and which are these sikhas of Dvar Malchus. But that's in general to Chassidim. To have a sikha with the Rebbe speaking to the shluchim, and he's giving direction, and this is the last time, because after Nun Beis, even though the Rebbe came out to the Knesset Shluchim, it was on the porch, and there was no, at least, verbal communication. So this is the last time. So these are the instructions. As someone put, when it was advertised today, these are our marching orders. And as long as we don't have a Navi Hashem coming us and give us other orders, these are our orders. And even if maybe there are questions and certain things that we don't understand because of the long duration of time, time doesn't change anything. It's nothing changes in the urgency, and nothing changes in the truth of what we're going to learn. And we need to bear in mind when we learn this that who is talking, to whom he's talking, which is to all of us, shluchim of the Rebbe, shluchim and shluchais, even though he addressed it to the shluchim, But Ishtay Kegufay, the wives are like part of the Shliach, and they serve one unit. So together they make it up. And the truth is, if the Rebbe is speaking to the women, he would emphasize this even more because of the Rebbe always directed the women to be the trailblazers regarding Mashiach even more than the men. So that's that. But we have to bear in mind that this is emes la'mitay, and another thing is that it's shechina medaberes mitach shel Moshe, and therefore this is just emes, absolute emes, and there's no changes in it. It can't change just because someone decides that we're uncomfortable or we have a question. Nothing can change this. This is emes. So let's read together this emes, and let's just see what it says. And doesn't need the sikha doesn't need much explanation. It just needs to be learned. But what we do need is we need to have das, and das means to connect to it and attach ourselves, and feel it. We have to become intimate with the sikha to really sense, the enormity and the powerful empowerment and demand that it makes of all of us. So let's go for it. Let's begin. When we are standing at the beginning and at the opening of the gathering of shluchim, of the global gathering of shluchim, shluchim sheyichyu, shel kvoid kedushas Mordechai admor nasidareinu, the shluchim, may they be blessed with life of the kvoid kedushas of the previous Rebbe, who is the nasi of the generation. B'chol merchavei table, these are the shluchim that are across the entire globe. B'arba kamfei sa'aretz, in the four corners of the earth. Tzarech lahaskel b'roishu b'rishoynas hayasoid. We first have to mention, at first, the foundation, u'levate, and to give expression, or to express. Es atafkit shel hashluchim b'dareinu zeh b'chlal, the purpose, the job, the mission, if we can say, of the shluchim in our generation in general, ubimiyuchad, and meaning the shluchim of our generation in general, which is always about Mashiach, because the Rebbe already said that in Basi Lagani, that the generation is to finish the job about Mashiach. Ubimiyuchad, and more particularly, hachidush and etoisiv bimiyuchad bizmana achron, the chiddush that was added specifically in the latest time. In the avodah of shlichus. And what is that? L'kabel pnei Mashiach tzidkeinu begeula amitis v'hashleima. That the avodas of the shlichus, that the chiddush that came, what's the chiddush? The chiddush is that we should accept the face, I'm just translating the words, we should accept the face of Mashiach tzidkeinu in the complete redemption, in the complete and true redemption. To receive the face of Mashiach. Pnei Mashiach tzidkeinu. So what does that mean? I'll just translate it. To greet Mashiach, to receive Mashiach, whatever the exact translation is. Like explained many times, that it's explained many times that in addition to the common point, the common theme, in the general shlichus of Bnei Yisroel b'chlal, the Rebbe sees all Yidden as shluchim. Every Yid is a shliach of the Eibishter. Kishluchav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're all shluchim of the Eibishter. Shehi, and what's the shlichus? If we're all shluchim of the Eibishter, all the Jewish people, men, women, and children, of all the generations, from Avram Avinu till the end of days, everybody's a shliach. And that's a general shlichus that what? Which means I was created to serve my Creator, which means I was created to do what my Creator, whatever my Creator wants of me. Okay, so we're here to serve our Creator. So that's the general people, and the shluchim as the Jewish people as a whole. And then even more particular, those that were selected to be special shluchim of the nasi of the generation. So then there, so in addition to that, what? That there's a nekuda mishutefesh sheshava b'chal hazmanim. There is a general nekuda that is equal to all times, which is ani nevreisi l'shamash eskaini. All Jewish people were created to serve their Creator, including shluchim and everyone. But shluchim has something particularly because they occupy themselves with the particular shlichus of serving their Creator 24/7. So in that sense, there is they have because they're being directed by the most sensitive part of the generation, by the brain of the generation, by the nasi of the generation. So they have a more of an inner sensitivity and a more inner dedication and devotion to the inyan of realizing the purpose, which is the purpose the Eibishter created the world, to serve my Creator. So in addition to the general thing, which is equal in all times, as we said earlier, from Avram Avinu till the generation, to the last generation. But in addition to that, mitoisev mizman lizman chidush b'shlichus. So from time to time, it gets added on certain chidushim, certain new aspects in the shlichus. Shlichus miyuchedes is within the general scope of serving the Creator. There is an individual particular shlichus. Sheyichoy deres v'hiyashar shal yadei oilam kolin yonei shlichus, which is the shar, which this permeates, and this becomes the gateway, the passageway, which all the other inyanim of shlichus have to pass through. Like everybody would understand that if the Rebbe, if Rabbi Chodakov or Rabbi Groner or whoever it was, calls someone up, a shliach, back in 1970, and he said to him, the Rebbe wants of you to do so and so. The Rebbe calls Rabbi Kunin and says to him that I want you to go to Russia and get the Sfarim out. So then he has to drop all his work over here in California, and he goes to Russia, and he does what he does. Now, it doesn't mean he's not responsible for California anymore, for all the avoidance. He has to do that too. But everything, he has to appoint others to be in charge, and all the inyanim that he's doing, but in the one inyan that is his kach, is what he was sent at that time to do. And that becomes his ikar inyan. And that becomes the shar, that all the other inyanim that he's doing is going to have to go through that inyan, because the Rebbe is requiring of him that should be the energy, and that should be this focus of what he's doing. So if that is benegeya to an individual, so we understand that if the generation or the shluchim as a whole get special marching orders to go conquer this city or to go climb that mountain, then that's what they need to do. And everything else gets put on the back burner, and this is what they have to do. And particularly in this case, where what is being given is not a detailed instruction, but chiddush klali ve'ikri, what has been added on over here. What came now and became now emphasized is a new chiddush, something totally new, but it's a kloliistic thing. It's a very general thing. She'eino rag prat, or klal noisu b'shlichus. It's not a specific, or it's not a general principle in shlichus, but rather el ikr ve'inyan klali b'yoser. But rather it's an ikr, it's a core, and it's a very inclusive element in shlichus. To the point that this is the most general element in all of Yiddishkeit. And what is that? And what the Rebbe is really saying, I think it's just simple, just translate that into other words, is like this. If the Rebbe told us, let's say the Shabbos before Shavuos, the Rebbe said we should, since it's an inyan of Vayichan Sham Yisroel Neged Dahar, that we have to be makabel the Torah, and we need to have achdus. So the Rebbe called for that the Shabbos always before, Shabbos Bamidbar, Shabbos before Shavuos, we should try to make as many fabrengens and get together just laman achdus. So that, you can say, is a particular inyan. It's an inyan that has a shaykhis. It's a proteistic inyan that was added on. I'm not saying the Rebbe asked the dafka from shluchim. He asked it from Jews all over. The shluchim particularly should do it in their communities. Gather yidden. But it's a proteistic thing. An inyan more klali is when shluchim were told, let's say, to start, I don't know, mitzvah tefillin, you call it mitzvah klali and mitzvah prati. You're starting base batei Chabad. That's an inyan klali, right? I don't know what. There were shluchim. Put it this way: shlichus goes back already generations. It didn't start only with the Rebbe; it started with the Friediger Rebbe. But there wasn't such a concept of a base Chabad. A shliach went, did a job, and came back home. The Rebbe's inyan of shlichus is that he sends a person to set up headquarters. So it becomes a base Chabad. That's an inyan klal. That's a klal. But still, it's not a klal in all of Yiddishkeit. It's in your particular life. You're opening a base Chabad in that city. But in general, your Yiddishkeit continues doing all the inyanim of Yiddishkeit as you were doing till now. Here we're talking about ikar inyan klali b'yoser, a chiddush that's all encompassing. And what is that? That the focus now is hachana l'bias Mashiach tzidkenu, a preparation to the coming of Mashiach. but not like a preparation of the coming of Mashiach like there was in all generations. In all generations, Yidden lahevili moisa Mashiach. Kol yemei chayach lavin Mashiach. That there is a psaning that Mashiach is coming and we're doing what Mashiach. No, there is a very, very strong focus and drive and practical emphasis, as the Rebbe is going to say soon, where shluchim have to get together and discuss how are we going to bring our communities and the people we come to be able to appreciate Mashiach, to wait for Mashiach, and to all stand ready to greet Mashiach. That means that there's a tremendous emphasis. And this becomes an all-encompassing inyan that includes encompasses all the nekudas and all the pratim of avodas hashlichus. That means it doesn't mean we stop putting tefillin on Yidden. Doesn't mean we stop trying to get women to go to the mikveh, and so on and so forth, or kashrus, and all these inyanim. We do them all, but there's a power and an energy that is encompassing them all, which is we're driving we're ready to accept Mashiach. Now, why is this something that now? There's a chiddush. The Rebbe is saying it's a chiddush that just came now. It's not something that we had till now. It's happening now. So the Rebbe says, because it's been spoken many times. According to the notification from our Chachamim, shekvar kalu kol hakitzim. We've already finished all the dates of when Mashiach, all the kates, all the end times when Mashiach was supposed to come. Okay, that we had already from the time of the Gemara. But then Vaydos Kvod Kedushas Mordechami Admer Nasidareinu, and the notification that we have from the Friediger Rebbe, Shekvar also Tshuva Gam came, that we also did Tshuva. It's interesting. Who's the Haidah? When did the Haidah come from the Friediger Rebbe that we did Tshuva? The Friediger Rebbe didn't say that. I mean, when B'chaim Chiyusler, when he was alive, the Friediger Rebbe said, La'alta l'tshuva, li'alta l'giyula. And all we have to do is 2 pits in the knap. So we still have to do 2 pits in the knap, which is what? L'chura, the Indian of doing tshuva, and that. But the Rebbe says there was a Haidah from the Friediger Rebbe. That means that there must have been a Haidah from the Friediger Rebbe to the Rebbe. That what? That we did tshuva already. Ache kvar simu, as calling Yonavoid. Afilu l'tzachtzeichas ha'kafteirim. We've done that as well. See, that's the Chiddushim. That's the Chiddush that came in the last years. Nun Aleph, is that even that was finished. There's nothing else to do. And we're standing already ready. In other words, all the avodah that needed to be done in the world for Mashiach to come was done already. All we need to do now is get dressed in our Shabbos clothing and go greet Mashiach. It's a whole different Indian. There's nothing has to be fixed anymore. Everything was fixed. Even the most external things, we did that already. And now the only thing that needs to be done is everybody to get dressed in their Shabbos clothing to go greet Mashiach. And Shabbos clothing doesn't mean only physical Shabbos clothing, it means spiritually as well. That you make yourself ready for when Mashiach will come. You would know that, let's say, that within the 24 hours that before Mashiach comes, you would have liked, if you would have had a warning to behave in a certain way, to be able to greet Mashiach. So in that kind of an energy, we have to bring all the Yidden we come into contact with. Everybody, that everybody should stand in readiness to receive Mashiach. Since we finished everything, the avoid and the shlichus that's now that people should be literally, after he couldn't say the word more literally more prepared to receive Mashiach tzedkeinu b'poyol mamish in the literal. Mezeh moving. From this it's understood. Since that's our avodah, since we were told since that's what we're holding, the Rebbe is saying, since we're holding now in a time when Mashiach is ready to come, he just needs to have a Kabbalah upon him. He needs to have people coming out to greet him. That's what we need to have. We need to have, if we were told Mashiach is coming in an hour, we want to get everybody, come run quickly, because we're going to greet Mashiach. So the Rebbe is saying, Mashiach is coming in an hour. He's saying, basically, he's coming now. So now we need to go out to greet him. So therefore, if we're having a kinnis shluchim, and we're talking about the work that needs to get done, God's work that needs to get done. So what's the work that needs to get done right now? We drop everything else that we're doing, and we're all getting ready to come greet Mashiach. And if we need to discuss it with each other, how are we going to bring our communities to that? So that needs to be the discussion by the kinnis shluchim. Bezeh movim, this understood. Shebezeh mizbatis hamatara shel kinnis shluchim. The whole matara, the whole purpose of the Kinnis HaShluchim, ha'ilami, the world, the grand, global Kinnis HaShluchim, ha'noichich, lehizdaber b'yachad, to converse with each other, u'lotzeis b'achlotes toivas, and to go out with firm or good decisions. Al manas l'kayim b'poil. They shouldn't just be a nice chaloimes. These should be things that we are taking upon ourselves to do them in the literal sense. Keitzad levatzes hashlichus. How do we execute the shlichus hamiyuchedes, the unique shlichus shel zmaneinu zeh, which is of our time, Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach Tzidkeinu, to greet and receive Mashiach. Wow, so that's pretty clear, pretty strong, and amazing. So now, the Rebbe is going to say, till now he just explained in Perek Aleph, he explained that the shaykhis of why shluchim have to get busy with Mashiach is because now is the time of the Geula. So if it's the time of the Geula, then being that we're the shluchim of Nasi Dareinu, who works, who makes sure the Jewish people are doing the right thing, since the Jewish people need to now greet Mashiach, so the shluchim are the ones who are going to bring this message to all the Jewish people that they have to get ready to greet Mashiach. Fine. But now he's going to add that shluchim have a particular connection to Mashiach, not stam because it's the time of Mashiach. Shlichus and Mashiach is deeply intertwined and deeply connected. So, as we're going to see. So it's more than just, because it could be like this, on Erev Pesach, shluchim need to go get matzahs to all their people. Does that mean that there's a particular connection of shlichus with matzah? No. The truth is it is, because matzah is amunah, and shluchim are amunah. You could find connection. But in general, right, shlichus is shlichus. And one of the things is matzah. And before Purim, you're going to get people doing Megillah. And the same thing is, before Mashiach comes, you have to, the shluchim are the ones who need to ba'or everybody for Mashiach. And he says, no. There's something about shlichus and Mashiach that are, why? Because the root of all shlichus, the Rebbe is going to explain an amazing thing. The root of all shlichus, that means of all of us, and let's understand, so when we say we are shluchim, it means it's our identity, it's our being. It's not something, added to us. And as we know, I have to tell you, shluchas that you've given your life to this, that shluchas is your life. Shluchas is your life. Shluchas is not a detail. It's not something you do in spare time. It's our life. If that's the case, and we're saying that what's the nekuda pnimius of all shlichus? One shlichus. It's the shlichus that the Eibishter sends Mashiach Tzidkeinu to redeem the Jewish people. Mashiach is a shliach. He's the shliach of the Eibishter to redeem the Jewish people. And that's the quintessential shlichus that there is. That's the deepest shlichus. The shlichus that the Eibishter sends Mashiach Tzidkeinu to redeem the Jewish people. If that's the shlichus, and that's the nucleus, that's the point, that's the inner point of shlichus, then Mashiach in this process of to assist the shlichus of Mashiach Tzidkeinu to redeem the Jewish people, there is the concept of shlichus in all generations. Beginning, as we're soon going to see, with the shlichus of Avram and Eliezer, where they're sending him away to make the shidduch of Yitzchak and Rivka. That too is part of the shlichus to enable Mashiach Tzidkeinu to do his shlichus. And then there is the shluchim of the generation of Mashiach to help Mashiach redeem the Jewish people. So let's see. Birav ashaycha shel avodas hashlichus shel hashluchim shenetois v'lekenes hashluchim oilami. That the shaychus of the avodas of the shluchim that were gathered for the shlichus in Mashiach Tzidkeinu. What's their particular shaychus with Mashiach? Yuven ba'hasbara shaychos shel Mashiach atzmoi im inya v'geder hashlichus b'chlal. We're going to understand that by understanding the shaychus of Mashiach himself to the concept of shlichus. Where do we find that Mashiach is a shliach? Al pasuk shlach no b'yad tishlach, on the pasuk where it says, when Moshe Rabbeinu sends to the Eibush, please send in the one that you're going to send. Moshe Rabbeinu was declining to go to Mitzrayim, and he said, please send with the one that you are meant to send. There too, there was a shliach. Moshe Rabbeinu was appointed as the Eibush to shliach, take the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim. So Moshe Rabbeinu said to Hashem, that shlach no b'yad tishlach. What does that mean? Amru Chachamenu Zal. So Chachamim say, it's a Medrash Lekach Toiv, and Prikad Rebbe Eliezer, and so forth. Amar Moshe Lefanav Ribono Shalom. And Moshe said to the Eibishter, Shlach na b'yad tishlach. B'yad Mashiach, shu asad li galos. Why are you sending it in me? Why don't you send the future Redeemer? Now what? Mashiach Tzedkenu. He's the one who is going to asad li galos. He's going to be revealed. So you send it through. Send this shlichus of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Also pick a ready Mashiach and let him do it. So from here we see Sheba Mashiach yesh asa geder shel shliach. From here you see from the word shlach na b'yad tishlach. So the one that you're going to send, you see clearly that the Mashiach has that's who he is. He has a geder of a shliach. Al pi Torah. He's defined as a shliach according to Torah. What is he? What does he mean? What kind of shliach is he? Mashiach hu a shliach. Mashiach himself is a shliach. Shlach tishlach shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu ligolas Yisroel. He's the Eibishter's shliach to redeem the Jewish people. And even though someone is going to say Shlach no b'yad tishlach was Moshe Rabbeinu's request, but it wasn't accepted. It was Moshe requesting. At the end, the Eibishter told Moshe Rabbeinu, "You should go." He didn't send the Mashiach. So l'chura one can argue. So then we lose the whole idea that Mashiach is a shliach. So the Rebbe brings in order 7. The afsha bakashas Moshe lo niskablu b'poyel. That even though Moshe Rabbeinu's request was not accepted, we'll soon see if it wasn't accepted. The truth is it was accepted, as you're going to see in a minute. But even if we're going to say that Moshe's words were not accepted, Ein ze shoydel divrei Moshe, this doesn't negate what Moshe said, Shemashiach hu shliach legal Yisroel asid. That Mashiach, that's not up to debate whether Mashiach is a shliach. That's not, even when the Eibishter tells him for whatever reason, now you have to go, not Mashiach, he's not changing the idea that Mashiach is a shliach. So that's a given. Mashiach is a shliach. Moshe Rabbeinu was also a shliach. Moshe is a shliach, and Mashiach is a shliach. Both of them have a shlichus to redeem the Jewish people. Hatam bepashtas now. Now the simple reason, lakach, Moshe bikish zois, that Moshe asked this. Now the Rebbe is going to say that in truth, it's really one shlichus. It's not like there was a shlichus of Moshe and the shlichus of Mashiach. It's really one shlichus. Because the simple reason that Moshe Rabbeinu requested this. Ukepirish rash al pasuk biyad achar. Rashi says on this, Rashi doesn't say explicitly that it's Mashiach, but Rashi says send with someone else that you want to send, because Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, I'm not going to finish the job anyways. Since I'm not going to bring them in the end into Eretz Yisrael. And I'm not going to be, here Rashi's hinting to what this Medrash says, and I'm not going to be their future redeemer. You have other shluchim. I feel like I don't want to do a half-baked job. I don't want to be, stopping. So let it be already. Send another shliach who maybe is going to do better than me and going to bring it to a completion. That's what Rashi says. And as the Rebbe explains, since Moshe Rabbeinu knew already at that point that the Eibishter was not sending Moshe to bring them into Eretz Yisrael or to be their future redeemer. In the end, he's going to send a different shliach Mashiach. Sheyishlach es Mashiach legal as Yisrael gamim. So Moshe Rabbeinu is asking, Sheyishlach es Mashiach legal. If he can finish it, let him do it. Sheyishlach es Mashiach legal as Yisrael gamim Mitzrayim. Let him send Mashiach to take the Yidden out already from Mitzrayim. Avol tzarich lav, we need to understand. That's how the Rebbe explains what Moshe was saying. But the Rebbe is asking a strong question. Moshe Rabbeinu definitely understood. And especially since Moshe Rabbeinu was the ultimate of Chachma. The Madrega of Moshe is Chachma, so he's holy Chachma. He's the epitome of Moshe Kibbel Torah Messinai. He's the Makabel of Torah. So his brain doesn't make mistakes. That's what the Rebbe. He sees things correctly. Moshe Rabbeinu definitely understood. Shakadosh Baruch Hu Atzmoi Yada Shu Asad L'Shleches Mashiach. Moshe Rabbeinu knows that he's not revealing to the Eibishter something that the Eibishter doesn't know, that Moshe's shlichus is not going to kind of come to the complete completion, and he's going to have to send someone else. And the Moshe Rabbeinu is machadish this to the Eibishter. He's giving them this news that God doesn't know. Obviously, Moshe knows that Hashem knows that too. That in the end he's going to send Mashiach to take the Jewish people out. Notwithstanding God knowing that, he's still coming to me, Moshe Rabbeinu, and asking me to do this. So why is Moshe Rabbeinu throwing the ball back to the Eibishter and sending Mashiach when the Eibishter knows it? I mean, Moshe Rabbeinu is not arguing. If his argument, the argument has to be based on something real. So, nevertheless, the Eibishter chose Moshe to be the shliach to redeem the Jewish people in Mitzrayim. For whatever reason, the Eibishter doesn't care. I mean, it's not bothering the Eibishter that this shlichus of Moshe Rabbeinu is not going to reach the final completion of the job. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu asking that? So we have to understand the depth of Moshe's shayla. What's the meaning of it if he knows that the Eibishter L'chura knows that? Well, the idach gisa on the other end, we need to understand. Now we can ask the question on the other end. Since Moshe Rabbeinu, who as the Rebbe is saying, we know for sure that when Moshe is arguing something, it's a true argument. So if it's a true argument, why didn't the Eibishter accept it? Since Moshe Rabbeinu, who's chachma of holiness, was mevakish, this had a moving shekenu al pi chachma de kedusha. So this is based on holy logic, on holy chachma. Betachlis ashleim shalom. And the epitome of it, this is the emes of the emes. Why wasn't it accepted? By the way, just learning this, just parenthetically, learning this already is a hachana that someone shouldn't be able to make pshetlach in the whole sikha and drey it according to their own what they want. Because you see from the Rebbe clearly how the Rebbe is learning how you're supposed to appreciate a Moshe Rabbeinu. How are you supposed to appreciate a Moshe Rabbeinu? The Rebbe is asking a question like this. Number one, if Moshe, the Rebbe is assuming, the Rebbe is taking for granted that Moshe Rabbeinu's argument is he's not making a mistake. It's an absolutely correct argument. Now, so the Rebbe is asking, number one, how can it be a correct argument if God knows that and God did not say that? But on the other hand, the Rebbe says, if Moshe Rabbeinu argued that it has to be emes, so then how is it that the Eibishter didn't accept it? And the Rebbe is going to answer one answer, it's going to answer both questions. And that is, guess what? Moshe Rabbeinu made a very good argument, and we'll see in a second, and the Eibishter Taka accepted it. Moshe Rabbeinu's argument was not wasn't answered. Because it was an emes argument, it Taka was accepted. Hashem didn't deny Moshe's request. So what does that mean? That this is the way it is. Since this is Taka a petition and a request of Moshe, and a suggestion of Moshe, B'Torah's emes, and Torah tells it to us. B'Torah nitzchias, in an eternal true Torah, it says it. This request was fulfilled. That shliach that the Eibishter sent to take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim, which is Moshe, who yishlach ligalas Yisroel lost it. What is Moshe Rabbeinu doing? Moshe Rabbeinu is saying to the Eibishter, you know what, you're sending me now, but I know there's a future redemption. So why don't you send the guy that's going to go later, send them now? So meaning have one shliach, do both. And guess what? The Eibishter doesn't argue with him, the Eibishter does exactly that. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Eibishter, yeah, you're taka that shliach. You're going to do it now, and you're going to do it then. K'de'isa b'medrash. But hold it, the future redemption is not through Moshe, it's through Mashiach. K'de'isa b'medrash. Moshe hu goyel rishon begulas Mitzrayim. Moshe is goyel rishon. Hu goyel achron begulas sida. He's taka the later goyel. V'zeh hoisa kavanas Moshe b'bakashasai. And Moshe's kavana in his request shlach no b'yatishlach was what? Aval pi sheyada shakadosh baruch hu yodeya shu asad l'shleich achikach es Moshiach. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that the Eibishter wants to send Moshiach. So why is he asking that now he should send Moshiach also? The answer is, Moshe Rabbeinu wanted that his shlichus, that he's going to take the Jewish people out of Mitzrayim, should be connected to Mashiach shlichus. Let it be the same person. Let it be the same shlichus. That the Geula Rishayna, the first redemption, should be linked up with the final redemption. And the later redemption should also be connected to the first redemption. Moshe Rabbeinu is not into things that fizzle out and end, that are not eternal and not perfect. So Moshe Rabbeinu, if he's going on a shlichus, wants a perfect shlichus. He's going in it for the whole thing. And perfection of Geula is only in Mashiach. So Moshe Rabbeinu is asking there should be one shlichus. And guess what? The Eibishter accepts that. And it's not an argument because the Eibishter it's not like the Eibishter ever told him differently. It's that when Moshe Rabbeinu says the deeper meaning of shlach no b'yat tishlach doesn't mean that Moshe Rabbeinu is really saying don't send me, send Mashiach. He says, send the Geula now, send Mashiach. And the Eibush, meaning send, I want Mashiach, I want perfect redemption. And at that the Eibush is saying, yeah, okay, so I'm linking you up with Mashiach and it's one redemption. Those are the Nekuda. Kloimar, She'af al Pisha Moshe Mashiach em Shnei Anoshim Shoinim, and even though now Moshe Rabbeinu and Mashiach are two distinct people, Moshe who Meshevet Levi and Mashiach Meshevet Yehuda, and Moshe is from Shevet Levi and Mashiach is from Shevet Yehuda, Beis David, Umoidem al Shnei Yonim Nefradim, and they being that Moshe is Moshe and Mashiach is Mashiach, they represent two different inyanim, and Miskashrim, yet these two powerful forces, which each one has an identity of their own, Miskashrim, they bond, umisachtim, and they become totally unified, Kidlekaman, like we'll explain later. So really, what does that bring us? It brings us that there's really, it's not like that there's one shlichus. It's the shlichus to redeem the Jewish people. And as we're going to see soon, all shlichus that there is are all offshoots, and they're all part of this powerful, singular shlichus to redeem the Jewish people. The Rebbe, by the way, brings an Erechayim. The Rebbe says, "Ve'ei gam Erechayim vayechim mem tes yud aleph." So I checked up this Erechayim, and it's beautiful Erechayim, very special. And the Erechayim says, the Erechayim learns a certain pasuk referring to half to Moshe and half to Mashiach. So he says, "V'lo yiksha beinecha," it shouldn't bother you that we divide the pasuk chelik b'yemei Moshe v'chelik b'yemei Mashiach. How can it be? It's two different things. He brings the words of the Zohar. Ki Moshe hu agoyel ashagoyel asafeseinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is the previous redeemer. Hu yigal oisanu v'yoshev banim ligvula, and he is the one who's going to bring the Jewish people out of the future redemption. Dichsev, hear these words. It says in the pasuk, "Masha haya hu sheyiyah." What was, that will be. Again, Masha haya hu sheyiyah. And what is Masha haya? What was is referring to Moshe Rabbeinu. Hu sheyiyah, that will be in the future. It's a pasuk in Kehelis. And the Rebbe says, and the Orachayim HaKadosh says, Masha haya hu sheyiyah is Rosh Tevis Moshe. So the whole inyan of Moshe is Masha haya hu sheyiyah. Moshe's emes, he's absolute, he was and he will be. And him and Mashiach are one inyan. Rosh Tevis Moshe. V'lo yiksha beinecha davar zeh. It shouldn't bother you, he says. Ba'omer chaloi melech HaMashiach Meshevet Yehuda. Melech HaMashiach comes from Shevet Yehuda. Mezareh shel David HaMelech comes from David HaMelech. V'yesh oimrim, and those who say that David atzmai melech HaMashiach, that David himself was melech HaMashiach. D'chsev v'avdi David melech aleim. K'mashmai v'im kein, like we say, David melech chai, David melech chai v'kayim. V'im kein. Eichanu omrim shuhu Moshe abba Meshevet Levi. How do we say it's Moshe that comes from? It's a completely different shevet. This question that the Rebbe asks in the Sikha. Yesh lach ladas. I'm reading this on purposely inside because I don't want to. The next part of the Sikha gets into another inyan, and this is very, very special because we all hear this idea that Moshe is Mashiach, but the Orachayim says Yesh lach ladas ki pchinas nishmas Moshe olav hashalom hu klula mishneim aser shiftei Yisroel. Moshe Rabbeinu's neshama includes within itself all 12 shvatim. Ki kol hashishim riboy haya anafeh olav hashalom. 600,000 Jews are all part of Moshe's neshama. Va'anaf shiftei shel David b'Moshe who, and Moshe Rabbeinu therefore incorporates the branch of David HaMelech. Elazetim tzeinu b'eretz midbar. That's why the Rebbe said, the Orachayim says that by Moshe Rabbeinu we find in the midbar that he did all the jobs. He wasn't just one. He was Chaya Melech. He was a king. The Kohen. He was also a Kohen. There was a particular time that Moshe served as a Kohen right at the beginning. The Levi, and he was a Levi. The Navi, and he was a Navi. How can it be? The Chacham, and he was the Chacham. The Gibor, and the Gemara says he was a Gibor. He was everything. Why? Because he included all the Anafim of Kedusha. Tizgale ba'olam shoirish hamalchus shebe Moshe. The shoirish of Malchus that's in Moshe Rabbeinu is going to reveal itself in Mashiach Tzidkenu. So when Mashiach Tzidkenu is being a king from David HaMelech and expressing his kingship, it's the Malchus of Moshe Rabbeinu that's coming into full glory and full light. Which, by the way, Shehu Atzmai Melech HaMashiach, because Moshe himself, on a level of the Shema, not physically, is Melech HaMashiach, V'hu David, and he is David, V'hu Yinoin V'Shiloi, he's Yinoin and Shiloi, and he's Mashiach. Wow. That's what so it's interesting. So we can understand when the Rebbe says always that the Nasi Derenu is the Moshe Shebedar. Because if he's, the Rebbe says he's Moshe Shebedar and he's Mashiach Shebedar. Moshe is far more inclusive even than Mashiach. Because Mashiach is the power of Malchus. Moshe Rabbeinu is everything. And so that's it. Okay. So once we've established today that Iker Inyan of Shlichus is the Shlichus of Mashiach Tzidkenu, which is the same Shlichus of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is one Shlichus of the Eibishter to bring redemption to the world and to redeem the Jewish people. And the whole Golus and everything, the whole, since Yetzias Mitzrayim, it's one powerful Shlichus. So first of all, we can appreciate the tremendous chus of being Shluchim, because this is mamish from its very inception, deeply connected to Mashiach. That's why you can't separate Shlichus from Mashiach. It's Shlichus is Mashiach. That's very, very important to know. And the other thing to bear in mind and to remember, we shouldn't have to review it next week, and hopefully next week there won't be even a discussion about this, is that the Rebbe says that Shlichus was upgraded, that there's developments in Shlichus, and Bizmana Achrein, something new came about in Shlichus, and all Shluchim and Shluchis need to focus on this aspect, which is not just an aspect, which is the kloliest Ge'inyan of all of Shlichus. I mean, just these two paragraphs, Gewalt, and they're sitting in a book over here, and we just, it's another page, but there's so much here. Okay. Bez Hashem, next week the Rebbe is going to start, and what we'll learn next week, the Rebbe is going to start exploring the halachic idea of the shlichus of Eliezer, whether he was a shliach, whether he was a shatchen, and why that shlichus was such an important shlichus. And the Rebbe is also going to explain how to be a shliach, and what does a shliach mean. It's really, really fascinating. Hopefully we'll do this in 3 weeks. If it takes us 4 weeks, it'll take us 4 weeks, but I think that this is one sicha that we need to learn bi'iyun, mamish, and to really, 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 two things. Like it's the bi'iyun and with a lot of kavanah, which means, as I mentioned earlier, with a lot of das, to attach ourselves to it, that the inyan starts living in our bones. Be'ezus Hashem, we should merit, that we should fulfill our shlichus the way the Rebbe wants it to be fulfilled, and we should already see the ultimate shliach that comes and reveals himself to be Goyal, the Jewish people, now. Everyone, a really, really good Hatzlacha Week.